Hey guys, I made some pants for the squish. Aren't they cute? And today I'm going to teach you how to make these. So there is a full PDF to download in the description box below. This download does cost 99 cents. However, if you can't afford the download, then this video is free and you can still make your awesome cloth diaper pants. This is the 2-year-old size, so 2T, 24 months, and you're going to need a lot of yarn to make it. You need about, I use 12 different colors, but you can use as little or a few colors as you want. And I have about 50 yards of each color, although you're going to need a little bit extra for the waistband. So I would say you need 75 yards for the waistband color and then 50 yards of each color, and 12 colors total. If you're going to make it just one color, then you need, I think it's 625 yards. You're also going to need 2 sets of double pointed needles, a 4.0 and 5.0, and 2 sets of 16-inch circular needles, a 4.0 and a 5.0. All the ribbing is done in 4.0, and the rest of everything else is worked in 5.0. So you're going to start off with your 4.0. And let's get started. So the first thing you're going to need to do is to take your 16-inch 4.0 millimeter round needle, circular needle, and we're going to cast on 80 stitches. So you can use the long tail cast on, you can use the crochet cast on, any cast on that is stretchy, as in it will have stretch after you're done. I like to do the crochet cast on, it's just my favorite. So what you do is you put your needle between 2 stitches that you looped on, and then you pull up that stitch, and then you pull this one over that one. I go over this cast on in literally almost every one of my videos, so I'm probably going to stop doing that, or maybe I'll just make a how to crochet cast on knitting video that I can just reference in the beginning of every video, because I'm sure for most of you who have been my subscriber for a little while, you get tired of hearing that. But then I have new people come in every day, or someone may just watch one video. So I want to have all the information. So all you're going to do is keep sticking your needle in between the first 2 stitches, yarning over, pulling up, yarning over, pulling this stitch over that one, and then sticking it on, and just repeating that. Repeat until you have 80 stitches on your needles. Alright guys, now that we have 80 stitches on our needles, we're going to join into the round. We do this by casting on 1 extra stitch, so you're going to have 81 stitches. Then you're going to slip the first stitch over, and the very last stitch, pull it over the first stitch and off the hook and drop it. Now you can pull on these 2 lines to tighten everything up. And now we're going to go on to round 1. So we're going to knit 2, purl 2 all the way around. So knit 2, purl 2 all the way around. Alright, now that I've knit, purl around for 1 whole round, I'm going to keep knitting and purling around Reuben until this work measures 3 inches from here down. So a lot of rows. Alright, so now that we've worked our top out till 3.5 inches, we're going to do the 2T cloth diaper increase round, which is knit 4, knit 1, front, back. So all the way around, you're going to knit 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then knit 1, front, back. You can also do this in STST stitch, working the knit 2, purl 2, and then knitting 1, front, back. So just do whatever is easiest for you. And you should end up with 96 stitches when you get back to the beginning. Alright, so I finished my increase round and now I have 96 stitches because I'm making the cloth diaper size 2T. We're now going to switch to a new needle and we're going to switch our color. So go ahead and cut your yarn and pull out your new color. I'm going to be using this color. And now we're simply going to knit all the stitches. We're going to knit 5 rounds of this new color. I'm going to switch colors every 5 rounds to make the stripes. And we're going to just keep knitting until our work measures 9.5 inches. But all we're going to do is knit, just knit all the stitches in the round. And you do 5 rounds of each color. Alright guys, so here you can see that I've got about half my stripes. I just wanted to give you a little preview. I've still got to knit a whole lot more, but there I am about halfway done with the stripe portion before I section off for the legs. Alright guys, so now that I have knit the top and all of my stripes, I'm going to section off for the legs. And I don't want my legs to start in the same spot that my seam is, where I did all the others. So I'm going to shuffle a few stitches, but after this, make sure that you don't shuffle stitches around because you want the inseam of the pants to be in the same spot for both legs. So I'm just going to move that around. And here's where we're going to switch to double pointed knitting needles. So we're going to get 4.0 double pointed knitting needles. And you're going to put your stitches in half. So take half your stitches and put them on the double pointed knitting needles. So you're just going to pass them to the double pointed needles, separating them onto 3 needles. And you'll have a 4th needle for knitting. Alright, so now I have half my needles on a set of double pointed needles and half of them on my circular needle just to hold them till I can work this leg. And I'm just going to recount to make sure everything's right before going on to the next step. Alright guys, so on the circular needle we're going to put these stitch markers because we're not going, stitch holders, we're not going to work this leg, and we're going to start with these stitches that are on the double pointed needles. Now in the pattern you may have noticed I said do not shuffle the stitches after this point. These right here is where the crotch starts, and you want to make sure that these stitches right here don't get put over here, and likewise these stitches don't get put over here. Once you have the definite place of where you want your crotch to start, it needs to stay there. So for right now we're going to leave these stitches alone and we're going to start working with these ones. So get out your next color because you should be at the end of a stripe. And we're going to repeat these rows. First we're going to knit 2 together. And then you're going to knit to the last 2 stitches. And the last 2 stitches are on this needle at the very end. And when you get to the last 2 stitches, you're going to slip, slip, knit, 2 together. We're going to keep doing the rows of 5, so that was row 1. Row 2, we're just going to knit. So that was round 2, and we're going to repeat rounds 1 and 2 3 more times, while still alternating the colors every 5 rows. So we're going to repeat it 1 more time, and then we're going to repeat round 1, change colors, if that makes sense to you. Repeat round 2, and then repeat rounds 1 and 2 1 more time. So you're going to knit 2 together, and then knit until the last 2 stitches. And at the last 2 stitches, you're going to slip, slip, knit 2 together. Then we're going to repeat round 2, which is to knit all the stitches. So go ahead and knit all the stitches. That was repeat 1 of rounds 1 through 2, and now we're going to repeat that 2 more times. But we're going to have to switch colors in the middle of it. So we're going to repeat rounds 1 through 2 again. So knit 2 together, knit until the last 2 stitches, and at the last 2 stitches you're going to slip and knit 2 together. And now we have to switch colors, so go ahead and cut this color and get out your new color. And we're going to do round 2, where we're going to knit all the stitches. So simply knit all the stitches. And that's the end of repeat 2. And now we're going to just repeat rounds 1 through 2 1 more time. Alright, so now that we finished all the decreases, it looks like this. See how it decreases out? We're going to keep knitting, alternating colors every 5 rows, just knitting all the stitches until our leg measures 7 inches. So you're going to measure from here, and you want it to measure 7. So just keep knitting all the stitches until your work from this point measures 7 inches. Alright, so now I've knit one whole leg for 7 inches, and I'm going to start on the cuff. So I went ahead and cut my yarn after 5 rows of this color, and I'm going to be finishing off the cuff in this blue color. So for the cuff, we're going to switch back to 4.0 double pointed needles, and for round 1 you're just going to do a knit round. So you're simply going to knit all the stitches. So that's round 1 of the cuff where we knit all the stitches. In round 2, we're going to knit 1, purl 1 all the way around. Now I don't really like to knit 1, purl 1. I like to knit 1 through the back loop, purl 1. My tension when I knit 1, purl 1 is wonky, so I knit 1 through the back loop and purl 1. Now usually you knit like this, but I'm knitting like this through the back loop. You can do it however you feel comfortable, but I noticed that my knit 1 through the back loop, purl 1, looks a lot neater. Alright, and now we're just going to repeat round 2. So we're just going to keep knitting 1, purling 1 all the way around until our cuff measures 2 inches. And as I said before, I'm going to knit 1 through the back loop, purl 1 all the way around. Alright, so I have finished my cuff. I did a knit 1 through the back loop, purl 1. Here's what the other side looks like. And now I'm going to bind off. And you want to bind off in a stretchy bind off. There are several different ones that you can use. There's Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off and a bunch of other ones. I do just a regular bind off, modified. So you knit 1, and then your next stitch is a purl. So you're going to purl 1. Then you're going to knit 2 together. My yarn is all messed up. There we go. So then you're going to knit 2 together. And then you're just going to, whatever the stitch is, a knit stitch, you'll knit it. And then knit 2 together. The next one's a purl stitch. So you'll purl it. And then knit 2 together. When you get to the very last stitch, I just like to yarn over and pull it through. Cut your yarn. And then when you weave in the ends, you'll just weave that down. Alright, so then we're going to go up and we're going to knit the other leg. I've already done a lot of that. You just knit it exactly the same as this leg. And you knit it exactly the same length. And you finish it off exactly the same way. And then your pants are done. You can block them if you think they need blocking. I didn't block mine. I thought it was fine just the way it was. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial, and I will catch you next week.